Thank you so much for live streaming the call. It's so helpful.
All right, we're good to go.
Yay! Welcome everybody. So let's get crack-a-lackin' with intentions and distractions for the call. So my intentions for the call, I mean, I don't have so many specific intentions. I did want to talk briefly about ETH Barcelona and any like fun things that we could do in preparation for that. Plus just like mentioning about role proposals in case you hadn't heard. And then just touch on all the other things that are on the board or on the agenda. It's kind of just like brainstorming things, but I don't have so much concrete. So totally open to the important things that you want to discuss. And I'm not distracted, just fatigued from calls. And I will pass it to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, so there's a bunch of small pending things, but probably the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was the donor course, since it's basically done now. I wanted to talk about what our strategy is to launch it, and if we still want to go the approach of having like a quiz with a POAP that we can give out to people. That's the main thing. Distractions, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, but I'm fine. I just have like a bit of a sore throat. So yeah, let me pass it on to Benz. Are you there, Benz? Okay, if Benz is not there, I guess I'll pass it to Suga.
Thanks. All right, I'll be your second choice. Yeah, just here to get things moving along with comms and check in with some issues and stuff like that. And no distractions. So I'll pass it to
Thanks, Suga. Hey, everyone. I don't know. I guess just listening to that, I feel like that's been my that's my check-in for many of these meetings. But I'm personally working on what I'm calling the state of the ecosystem, which is going to be an infographic that we can share on a periodic basis, just to kind of share like the statistics or the, dare I say, metrics kind of different components of the Giveth ecosystem. So maybe we have some time for that today. Otherwise, I can just share it via the communications channel. So that's, yeah. For those of you that I haven't met, hi, I'm Todd. I'm joining Giveth this week as a product manager, and I'm hoping to really take the perspective of product management and how do we tie that into communications and help create kind of more coherence internally and externally with audiences that don't know about us or love us yet. So yeah, that's my check-in. I have one conversation kind of going on in the background with a collaborator, but I'm hoping to have all my focus here for the next hour. So that is my check-in. Eli, I haven't met you. Is Elizard Wizard? Would you like to go?
I think that's you, Elizabeth.
Hey guys, sorry, my connection got lost. Well, my intentions are basically to catch up. I have been missing a few calls, so I am very interested in knowing what I have missed, what is going on, where we are at, and distractions. I thought I have none, but there's some construction going on over there, so yeah, I can hear it a lot. So that's it. I'll pass it to Grit. I think you're next.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to come to a comms call. I usually have a call during this time, but it's not on. So I'm just excited to be here because I love these calls and I just want to be able to make these calls more often. I have no intentions other than just like getting synced. And then as far as distractions, it's starting to rain here, and when that happens, I can't hear because the ceiling is a tin roof and it gets loud. So that's fun. I'm not sure who went. I'll pass it to you, Lauren, to pass it on.
Yeah, that's the same.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome, Todd. Nice to have you on board. Okay, my intentions for the call. I wanted to get a little bit deeper into the planning of what we can do from the Giveth Grows document. Now we've looked at a couple of things holistically, and maybe the next step is going to be setting up a call with a couple of people that want to be involved in putting together the plans for specifically our articles on Medium, that the cadence of that and the content, our Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the newsletter and the website, which seems to be the most impactful. So that was my intention, just to see how can we move forward and who would be keen to collaborate on that. And then I'll set up another call for us to specifically focus on putting together the plan. Maybe for the rest of the year, we can just have some content and then just some views and then add to it, because we've also got to be reactive a lot of the time and not just plan in advance. And distractions at the moment, nothing. I'm feeling focused after 10 minutes, because just before this call I wasn't very focused, but hearing all of you I feel like I am now. And I think that is everyone. Wait, one more person? No.
Yeah, just Sarab walked in at the last moment. Sarab, we're doing intentions and distractions, and you just rolled into the Giveth Communications weekly sync. So do you have any intentions or distractions for this call? This is that mic thing again. I remember in another call you were in. I can't hear you. I see you're unmuted. Well, if you manage to figure out the microphone thing, feel free to speak up. Cool, awesome. Okay, well, nice, awesome. Glad you're all here with lots of great ideas and things to talk about. So let's just jump in, and I think maybe the first thing we can address is the Giveth Donors 101 course, since it is like almost really quite ready. And yeah, so Ahmad, do you want to touch on specifically? Do you want to intro this?
Yeah, so we've been working on this course for the last couple of months, or at least like a month and a half. We have now 14 videos that are on a playlist, and we're ready to launch it as far as I can tell. Yeah, so like this is basically sort of like a 101 course for people that would want to donate on Giveth. So it's focused on the donor side. Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to see it, I posted a link to the playlist earlier on the comms channel. I'd be happy if anyone has any feedback on it before we launch it. But the idea was we would have like a quiz that we launch with it, where people can get some kind of like a poll app if they watch all the videos and can answer all of the questions about how Giveth works. And I guess like in this call, like I thought it would be nice if we can talk about what would be like a launch strategy for us, and how can we frame this like set of videos.
I mean, I think we should give them a give reward too, a POAP and a give token reward.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Hey, is the type form already done, Ahmad? I mean, the quiz? I know I just recently shared you access.
Yeah, so I made a draft of it. It's on the GitHub issue, so I posted it there. If anyone wants to look at it, you could open it now even if you have a second. It's on the issue. Let me get the exact issue. It is, I think, issue 635.
Mm-hmm.
It's in QA, I think, yeah.
Oh,
So
15 minutes ago. I'm like, oh, I didn't see it.
I like recently did it.
Getting me
Yeah.
15 minutes ago. Makes sense. Cool. Ooh. Oh, well done. I'm like, wait a minute. This is.
Yeah,
dense.
we might
Maybe
need to
just put
change
this
this.
at the end.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little premature. I'm like, I didn't do well yet. Cool. Nice. Nice.
You better
I
get
love
those
it.
right, Laura.
That's right. Oh, Maj, you're great. Okay. Oh my, I'm so tempted just to go through it. Everyone looks really engaged. Let's just go through. Okay, what types of projects are
Oh yeah,
available?
let's do it as a group.
Wow. Correcto mundo. This is great. What are give back? Really tough. Wow, this is so good. Oh, Griff, you're on mute with your positive feedback. I can hear it. He's like, wow, great.
Yeah, this is one that's a little more
This
subjective.
is tricky, right?
Yeah, this is more of like a subjective one that we might need to reframe. Like, I wanted to ask you about this one, but yeah, like, it's the last one.
Ahmad,
Okay.
weren't we just talking about that? No, that was in governance.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah. Or no, we were talking about it in the Connect work.
Oh yeah, in the Connect one, yeah. So we said it was like 13% liquid give, but then 75% if you count it with the give stream, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That one's a little more
It's
complicated.
weird framing. Maybe we change this one. I mean, we could even take out like the amount you get back and replace it with like a different question, like
Or
what
like,
is the give garden? But I guess there's more questions, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Is it long?
No, I think that you're halfway through. There's only 4 more questions left, so just 10 questions.
I love UBI style reward. I love that framing.
Yeah.
Man, you were saying on your role proposal that you're good at dad jokes. You're also good at dad encouragement. How right you are. Correct the mundo. It's so and it makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Dad encouragement and dad jokes.
Sacrifice your firstborn, for sure. Definitely. Pick it. Oh no.
I think there's 2 more questions left.
I wonder if so what happens if I get a bunch wrong?
I think, yeah, if you get 7 out of 10, it should take you to the like the final step, and then otherwise it'll take you to, yeah. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere yet, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I think the only question that we need to really sort out is the give back
one.
Yeah,
the give back one, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise it's awesome, and we need to like set up that co-op link for sure. Do we need? I think Ben's was gonna work on helping with that, right? Oh, go ahead, Susan.
With the co-op, if it's like a different setup than what we do for givebacks, I might be a little closer, but yeah, I can certainly help with that.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to do the setup where it's like instead of like particular
editing.
Yes, please. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely use your help with that, for sure.
Man, okay, side note on this. I'm struggling with the Typeform access thing. We need to like either just upgrade our Typeform account or our LastPass account to the Pro version, or because it's like with the free version we can only share with one person at a time. So right now Ahmad has access, so Suga can have access, and I could remove Ahmad's access and give it to Suga, and it's like a whole thing. Or we just share passwords around, which is kind of like not the best method.
But that's strange.
Hey, Griff.
Because I thought if you are paying for at least 1 seat, then you can send it to as many people as you want, no? Like, it doesn't let you do that?
No. Oh. We're not paying at all, and so we can only send it to one person at a time.
Yes. I mean, so from what I saw, because I used it before, if you pay for at least 1 seat, you can share it with as many people as you want. But, like, you just have to pay for only 1 seat, yeah. Or, like, 1 user.
Cool.
The person who pays can share it with anyone.
With as many people as they want, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Maybe we can set that up Griff, I don't know, and we can give it to Rochelle, and she can reimburse you from the DAO. Yeah, that'd be great.
But would
Cool.
that mean that Ahmad couldn't share it with me then?
Yeah, but I could share it with you.
We'd have to go to who? Yeah, so it probably
Yeah.
should be you, I guess.
Yeah, I set up the LastPass account for Giveth through the Giveth Gmail, so it's like, I mean, I could give it to somebody else who would then be like, you know, in charge of that as the gatekeeper, but then they'd be the gatekeeper for, you know, all the passwords and things. But yeah, I'm cool with being the gatekeeper for now until we maybe have this like talent administrator person who's like well trusted, and then maybe they can take off or something. But like, yeah. For now, upgrading the account sounds good, and then we can share access with Suga, who can then edit the quiz, and we need to come up with a better thing. Maybe we can even just take out that question about the 75%. Oh, this is not the right motion. Yeah. And then I had another question. Oh, yeah, I also think we need somebody to go through all the videos one more time, because I was looking at them recently, and like, I don't know if I made this comment or I just thought about it, but like the first intro video is called like Intro to Donor Onboarding Course, and like, you know, we should change that to like Giveth Donors 101 or something, you know, like just the slide, and just make sure that things are still at least mostly relevant. It is disappointing because some of the videos are like, we recorded them before we updated the DApp, and so it's like on the old UI. But it's always going to be like that, so I think we should just leave it. I don't know. Unless you think we should strongly that we should change it, you know? I don't know where the link is for the videos, but...
Yeah, I think like maybe someone that didn't see it yet, like a fresh pair of eyes, I think would be useful here. So yeah, if anyone wants to volunteer to do like a QA on it.
Hello everyone.
Feel free. Yeah, also yeah, like Griff's one is the first one. If you go up, Lauren, like the first one, yeah. Like that's the one Griff did. We added like a...
Before we get into the nitty gritty, why is Giveth even worth diving into? Well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like Madonna with the signature there, or some kind of like, yeah, you know, kind of fun.
Is that your actual signature?
No.
No. Griff's actual signature is just a weird squiggle.
Yeah. I try to make sure that it's forgeable easily.
Yeah. If we need to change anything for the UI, I'm like on the walkthrough stuff. I'm happy to do that too. Like for the ones that I did, wouldn't mind like touching up a few of those. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So does anyone want to volunteer to kind of go through this? I mean, I think I probably will as well to provide feedback, but I probably won't go through it too fine. But yeah, I think it would just require somebody to kind of like watch them on 2x speed, and it would be good if you had a little bit of an idea about these things. Oh, Suga wants to.
I'll do it.
Yay! Great. Cool. I'll make an issue for that after the call and assign you as well. Or you could make an issue as well. So QA, there's a few action items. Oh,
Where's the link for that?
I'll just send it to you or put it in the comms channel right now. I just posted in the comms channel. There's my notes. Okay, so then we should talk about, oh yeah, and Ben's is going to set up the co-op. Oh, this is the wrong notes. QA video, Suga, setup, co-op, Benz. And then, yeah, so for like launch strategy, I think we should like create like definitely like a tweet thread, and we should create as well like an email to send out to everyone. I feel like we should send the email out to donors and projects because it might be helpful for projects to share with their donors. I actually have been sharing the link around just like on a one-on-ones. Like this isn't done yet, but it could help to people. We could also, take this opportunity to like make it into like a little bit like a summary blog post of kind of like targeting our like basic users level audience, and it's like hitting some of the key points as to like why donate on Giveth, and like this course makes it easy, and like you could learn about all these things. I think that might be valuable as well.
We already have video summaries of most of the videos, so we could start with that and then collect those into a blog post.
Yeah. I think we probably shouldn't include a summary of every video in the blog post, but rather kind of like intro the series.
Yeah.
High level, yeah. So we need to draft these things. Does anyone want to write this blog post?
I can do it.
That Elizabeth? Was that you?
Yes. Sorry, I turned off my camera because the connection sucks.
Cool. Okay, cool. Well, and I'm really happy to support you on kind of like giving text. Maybe we can have like a one-on-one sync and just and I'll just kind of like explain a little bit more so that you have a good starting off point. It would be really great if you could write this.
Okay, great.
Yeah, cool. Great. And I can write a tweet thread. And then Ahmad, do you want to write an email and set that up?
Yeah, I can do that.
Great. Does anybody have any other thoughts on this? I think we should also share it with the Connect working group and make sure that they know that they have it as a resource. And then we should announce it in the Discord. So kind of like the usual things. Okay. Cool. If we don't have any more, anything else to add on that, maybe we can move on to our next item. Stop me. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah. Okay, strategy document. Should we? Yeah, we can kind of hit this. Sim, I know you wanted to kind of discuss next steps in setting up a call.
Yeah, sorry that I didn't add to the Notion. My Discord on my computer is not functioning at the moment for some reason. But I think the best thing to do would be to set up a specific content discussion on this. Maybe I'll just set up a time, try and find one in between the calendar items that I can see. Then I'll put it on the comms channel, and then whoever can attend, just put an emoji there or something, and I'll just make sure that you're on the invite or just join at the time. I think it'll probably be on maybe Friday around this time in a gap. Yeah.
Maybe you could also create a doodle with like a couple of different times and then like tag people, and then we can kind of like, whoever's interested can fill it out. That might be helpful too.
Yeah. I'll just see what the sync is between our calendar and the Giveth calendar and what I can do, and then see how many free times. So that's a good suggestion. Then I think that the the 5 items, but one of the items is social, so it's got 4 items within that. The 5 items that I think that we should concentrate on based on what we've discussed around the documents so far, what will be the most impactful is our blogs, because those live on our newsletters and they're good for general SEO. Our social, so Twitter as a priority, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And they'll have slightly different content, so we'll work out the exact the plan, the content pillars for the next couple of months, and then it'll just seem a little bit more of a painted picture for someone to pick up and write copy for those. Even after this discussion, we may want to put it in priority, in order of priority, if we don't have enough resources to reach all of these and do the exact plan that we've got in mind. But at least we would be able to talk about that content. The newsletter and the cadence and the content around that, Ahmad, I know that you've been working on that for a while. I don't know if there's a plan that you have that maybe I can incorporate into the document. If you've got something that's written out, or if you can point me to an issue where it is, then I can include that in the planning, the marketing document. But essentially, I was just looking to how can we put our heads together and support putting together that content for the rest of the year, and what would we be talking about kind of in each month. Sometimes, obviously, you can't plan. So do you have something already that you've been working to that plans in a couple of weeks in advance, or I'm not sure how you do it?
For the newsletter, not really, since, I mean, how I'm currently doing it is that there are sections of the newsletter. There's like the project of the month, there's what are like the news for that month, and then there's usually something around like the app, or like an update on something that happened on the platform. But yeah, like I don't really have like a content calendar per se.
Okay, perfect. But this is already a good start. I mean, those are 3 strong pillars that if we can give some content, then at least that thinking doesn't have to be done in isolation all the time. But that'll be included in what we'll discuss. There was the website. I know that previously we were looking at the SEO and doing an audit, and then there was also the website was going to be updated. What is generally the status of that?
I think we actually did update a lot of the content on the website to have more of the keywords in it. Okay. And there were a few things that are kind of like still lingering that we're working on, like redirecting our medium to like blog.giveth.io and things like that they're still open in the Giveth planning board.
Okay, so there was wasn't the website going to be built in a different platform?
That was like the V2 app, you mean? Like the new version of the app? Or you mean like the blog?
I was not the blog, because I know that that's held on Medium, but our actual website, Giveth.io. I thought that it was being rebuilt, but maybe I misunderstood.
Oh, it was already rebuilt.
Oh, okay. So maybe I just skipped something. Okay, cool. So then if there are analytics for that, if we've got Google Analytics or something, that'll be also very helpful for the discussion, so we can just look at metrics. I don't know if the site is linked to Google Analytics.
Yeah, I think that it was not, but I mean, there's another issue around, and I think Kai was looking into it. This would be good stuff to like really check in on. Maybe we can make the call also like kind of like a hack session. So it's like we bring up these things and then we like chase down the people and the issues. Because there's a lot of issues right now put on the planning board that I think it's like we had them and started working on them and got distracted by other things, and it's sort of like bandwidth to complete them. So yeah, I think it would be really good to like in that call like actually like close out these action items as well.
Okay. Perfect. Because I think that something like Google Analytics will be quite important for us. It'll tell us how well our other efforts are working, because our website is going to be our funnel. And then the 5th item was outreach to influencers that in the crypto space that would be able to share the message of Giveth. I think that a lot of people just don't know about the capabilities and that they're able to be rewarded in this way. And they want to do good, but they just haven't given this thought. So if we are able to reach out, so I know that it's not necessarily one of our channels, but I did put that there as like the 5th impactful one. And I did start liaising with some. So I have a brief idea on what some of the influencers might expect. And it's not cheap. But you know, it might be worth it, and we can then consolidate and get maybe 6 influencers that we think are going to be impactful to share the message, negotiate, because we are a platform for giving, you know, so we're not just trying to push a product. But yeah, so we can have those discussions. And if there's any others outside of those 5, and I'll add them to our Notion document, then let me know. I'll also put it in the agenda, actually. That'll be better. So I'll put it in the thread, and then yeah, you can let me know if you think that there's going to be another channel that we should be focusing on. But as of now, I think that those are the 5, and then I'll set up a session to specifically plan around those. Just 1 slide per item, so we can, you know, move through it fairly quickly, and then we can always build out those further.
Yeah, that sounds great, Sim. I think that's a really good framework for the call hack session. And if you want to, yeah, if you can set that up, I think it would be really, really great. And I would love to be there, and I would love if like a mod would be there, because he's been doing a lot of this SEO stuff and there's a lot of cool stuff. Maybe we can also try to make sure that we get Kai in there, who would know like where all our routing and connections. He would be helpful with the Google Analytics side of things. He's Geely Royale, Gelee Royale on Discord. So, yeah,
cool.
When I can send you his tag or whatever, and then also like anybody in this call who's part of the comms team, like it would be great to have your feedback in there, especially with regards to like writing content and blog posts, and like we need people. Like, I mean, if we're gonna grow our if we're even going to consider like growing Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's like these things need owners. I cannot manage them all. And we were setting something up to like link so that Twitter would automatically post to Facebook, but it's like our Facebook is kind of like underdeveloped, and like so is our LinkedIn, and actually our Instagram too, which I have access to and like basically never post. And so it's kind of like, if you're interested in taking on any of these things, it could be like, you know, they would need champions. And otherwise it's kind of like we could look at like socials and how to like grow our Twitter, and we could even bring Dee into the call, Life is for Living, who's our general magic Twitter specialist. He's in China, so he's like asleep all the time when we're awake. But we could still try to get him in the call anyway, because he was actually like, we've been having some meetings talking about like content planning for Twitter and like setting up the week and like using these tools like TweetDeck and blah blah blah. So he would also like, I think, have suggestions and support on even like with respect to like outreach to influencers and kind of like, you know, creating more engagement with like accounts similar to ours and blah blah blah. So let's get him in there.
Cool. Okay. You said the last person, was it Steve?
Life is for Living.
Life is for Living.
His name is Steve, but that's his handle.
Okay, cool. I have seen Life is for Living. And Suga, because you're like the heart of the writing.
Heck yeah. I mean, I think it would be great to have Suga in there too.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, it would be great to have all of you, like Todd, Ben, Katavi, Elizabeth. If you want to come to that call, come to that call. If you want to help, like, support kind of like leading the direction.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, please add me to that.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. And yeah, that was my main topic. So
great. Thank you, Sim. So great. Love it. So glad you're helping lead this charge. And cool. I actually have like a couple of small things that I want to check in on. And one's the newsletter thing. I mean, with that thing. I just wanted to know, like, are we going to that a lot? Do you come to that?
Yeah, so I already set up our account, and I linked it to the issue just before this call, so you can check it out, but I think what I'll do is I'll put all of the previous like newsletters that we sent onto it, so you'll see what it looks like with all of the ones that we sent so far. And then if you like it, I mean, all we have to do is just link it to the Twitter, and then we can just have our newsletter through that platform, and then anyone can subscribe there. So it's fairly simple. I mean, it's basically done. It's just, if you like how it looks and do we want to use it or not.
Cool. Okay, I'll check it out after the call. I didn't see it, but I imagine you tagged me, right?
I think so, yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. The other thing I wanted to check in on was the Giveth Galaxy post. I know, Suga, you've separated it just like in the last hours, like since last night, and have like started putting it together. Do you have any questions, or how's it going? You want someone to review?
Yeah, thank you. So I don't know if you looked at it already, but so I tried to slender it down a bunch, but it's still, like you said, something like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 pages, and maybe with all the different images, maybe it's still super long. So it could be helpful if you just glanced, or somebody glanced at it and told me even more stuff should come out. Because I was trying to strip it down, but it would be helpful if it should be stripped down even more, basically. Yeah, so feedback at this point would already be helpful, for sure.
Great. Yeah, sounds good. I'll take a look at it after. For anybody who's interested, who could also provide feedback, kind of like some of the functionality of the post is like, I mean, when you first come in to Giveth, like Giveth and comments and CC and like magic and like, what are these things? How are they related? And so like the purpose of the post is kind of like to orient the person. It's like a hitchhiker's guide to the Giveth Galaxy. So it's like to orient a new person in, give a little bit about the background, but then also like the missions and what the groups are doing. So I'll take a look at it for sure, Suga, but if anybody else is going to look and providing feedback, there's text, and you can find it in the planning board. Okay, cool. I also wanted to check in. I know there's been a lot of action on like getting Gitcoin projects onto Giveth and like some concerted organized outreach, and Suga and Todd, you're working on it, and like, do you want to provide any updates, or like, do you need any support on the effort?
Sure. Yeah, so as I mentioned the other day, it takes a long time to go through. I think there's like 800 and something projects on there, and I was making this spreadsheet, was just getting pretty time consuming just to like pull out the info. But at the same time, I think it's useful to do that. So it's awesome that a couple folks, Ahmad and Todd, are stepping in to help. And I was even thinking, because I've been trying to do this for ages, and it's like you get around to it, and it's just all this cutting and pasting in an Excel sheet. And I thought, geez, if everybody just took like 3 letters of the alphabet, we would be done tomorrow. And then I could do the next level, which is to actually outreach to these different projects, or not just me, but we all could. So, but yeah, so I don't think at this point we've advanced on that, but if anybody, basically if anybody wants to just like take 1 or 2 letters of the alphabet, that would be awesome. Otherwise, Todd and I and Ahmad have decided to sort of split it up. But again, we haven't reached any organization on that. So I don't know if you guys want to say anything, or what anybody thinks about that, like just help out.
So,
I think like the logical, the end goal of this is like really to get these projects onto Giveth somehow. So like maybe even before going through every single one and making like a enormous overwhelming spreadsheet, we could even just start with like the ones that like you've taken a look at, and actually make some contact with the groups and be like maybe even draft like a message, like a generic message, but like with a part that could be tailored, you know? So it's like, hey, Giveth is doing this stuff. I don't know if you've heard of Giveth. We think your project is awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then some kind of like tailored message to that group. And then like have people like taking on, like taking ownership of doing the outreach. Because I think it's not necessary to get all of them, but it would be valuable to get some of them, especially the ones that we think are cool.
Yeah, and you know what? When you put it like that, like when this particular project turns into a teamwork project, which it totally makes more sense that way, it would be so much faster, yeah, to have somebody actively doing that. And then on the other side of it, the spreadsheet itself doesn't even need to have all of that information. It's like all you need is the name of it. You don't even need the name of it. All you need is the Gitcoin link. Like if I could totally just, you know, push out a list of whatever it's going to be, you know, a few hundred probably links, and then you can just outreach. Yeah, I think I'm probably giving too much information as usual.
Yeah, totally. You're a very thorough researcher. But yeah, so maybe like if someone can volunteer to like write a draft outreach email, and then from like what's already on the spreadsheet could like you guys could start splitting it up and just kind of like putting, I don't know what the best way to contact these projects is, if there's like a link to their Twitter or something like that, but
okay,
is that something you want to co-create together? We can kind of create that draft message. It can be short and sweet.
Yeah, would you like to start that, Todd? Because
sure.
I'm a writer, but I'm probably not the best person for like that type of writing. So that would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, happy to do that.
Cool. I'll create an issue for that in GitHub after the call as well. And yeah, and then the spreadsheet, maybe we can add like a couple more columns to it that are like person who did the outreach, where they reached out, the date they reached out, and then it's kind of like response like yay or nay or whatever. So that, yeah, then I think that would be helpful. We're doing kind of a similar thing for Regen Farms.
So I have a question, Suga. So
Oh, everybody, I love this. Thank you. I love when everybody gets involved. I feel like I'm not drowning under a giant Gitcoin grant.
Awesome. I have a question. So like, what is like the next step? I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess like you could DM them on Twitter maybe, but is there any other way that you could message them? Like, does Gitcoin have a way to message them directly? Like, could you DM them there, or I guess Twitter might be the best way.
I think.
I'm thinking it might be project specific, right? Like if you read their thing, it might be that they, you know, they might be better on one social media than another, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think you can.
If you click,
I think there's
on
like
a
a comment
member,
section.
Oh yeah, there's a comment section, and then I think if you click on a team member, there might be a way to reach out to a team member. I think
you can add them in the comment section, and I think that notifies them in their Gitcoin profile. So we could do probably a Twitter outreach if they verified that, and then do a on kind of platform message. I'd be happy to take that on. I mean, with outreach, kind of once we have the materials ready.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think, yeah, I think for each project it might really depend. And like what I would do is like kind of like go through it, look at their Twitter, see if it's like active, or you can even DM them, maybe click on the team members and see which one seems to be doing stuff. And that might be like the best way to figure out like the best contact. I'm not sure about commenting on Gitcoin to shill Giveth. That feels a little off to me. Like it feels like, you know, to be like, hey, get you. I mean, you know, we're all collaborating, but it just seems like a weird place. Like here is kind of more like, oh, love your Gitcoin grant, not like, oh, put your project somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that. I know for Kevin Nowaki and I, we're cool, you know, but I don't want it to look like we're spamming Gitcoin with our own shills. I think it's better to do it behind the scenes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep, second that.
Great. Okay, cool. Well, that sounds like a great jumping off point. So I guess like once you have a draft outreach thing, Todd, you could like reach out for some QA and then go from there. And I'm sure that if anybody else in this fall is interested in supporting that effort, there's going to be lots of projects to do outreach to. So we could make a team. So feel free to.
I just want to say thank you so much. This is great work. This is so cool. I can't wait to. These are great projects and to get on the platform. And once they actually, these are especially, I would start with the projects that have successfully fundraised in Gitcoin and try to prioritize them like that, based off of like amount raised in the last round, so that they're actively fundraising, and just these guys, hopefully we can help them promote their Giveth projects too, like give them some spoon feed things to promote us in their channels so that they can, however they got the Gitcoin donors, they can also get the Giveth donors. Yeah.
Not to guess on this, but I'm also like so excited about this. I'm really excited about like, hey, everybody, look at this is what you can do. Check it out. We got Giveth. It makes me very excited that they're gonna be revealed to this universe. I don't know. It's me.
Yeah. A group like, so when you're saying though, like help them with ways to promote their Giveth project, you mean like be like tweet, say this thing.
Yeah, like for instance, how do they communicate how much money their donors get in Give Back? I mean, we have enough trouble communicating that. Like they're gonna want, if we can spoon feed them some like, pre-written messages about how givebacks work, about cheap gas on XDAI, or like whatever sales pitch. If we can give them, I don't know if this happens to you, but people do this to me all the time. Like, hey, can you retweet this? Here's a quote tweet, like pre-made message that you could put on. But like, we have some really interesting messaging, and I really think that one of the biggest problems we have as a comms team is how to communicate exactly how much money people get from givebacks. And so if we have that problem, they're going to really have that problem. And that's our biggest sell. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I can also create a separate issue and kind of like drafting key messaging or just like consolidating key messaging. I did actually once like write this. Somebody asked in the support channel, hey, could you like give me some sample tweets as to like how to share my project on Giveth? And I did that. So we could like actually just make that like a doc or something that we share with people. Maybe we could even put it in our docs. Yeah, like a little guide for projects on like Giveth messaging, like how to communicate this to your donors, and some suggested like templates would be helpful, I think.
I was going to ask if there's a project onboarding document. I thought I remembered someone talking about that.
There is not really, no. I mean, we do have like a how to create a good project guideline, and we have this like project quality assurance guide where we're basically like, say clearly how you're using the funds, make sure you use a custom photo, don't violate our terms of use. Like, but it's really not like, I think to like the level of like how to communicate to your donors and what are key messaging. And I think it's something we could add. So maybe I'll just make that add to documentation, make it like a project onboarding guide. And well, I'll make an issue for it, and then like this is something that somebody could like take on writing as well.
Yeah, I think in that document there's going to be some basics like the terms and conditions that you mentioned, don't violate them, but then there's also going to be how can you take advantage of this opportunity more, and then that's where that information may be. This is ideas for how to tweet about it, how to give us information so we can promote you, adding to the transparency of your project, then we can take bits of that and amplify it our side, so we can keep adding to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That sounds great. Okay, so I'll make an issue for that and like kind of start out with a template, but then like if anybody wants to jump on writing it, that's totally great. You could also say something. Anyway, so I also wanted to mention we don't have too much time left, but role proposals. So if you guys haven't seen this forum post yet on like updating how we do our HR, work agreements, termination, blah blah blah, there's like the kind of new systems coming into place in terms of how we're doing like hiring and firing and all these buddy reviews and blah blah blah. So like if you have, I think it's like if you've already, I don't know if it's like only when after you've been working for 3 months that you need to do this, or right away, maybe Griff, you know, but basically we need to put our role proposals on the forum if you want to continue getting paid, and you need to do it within 2 months. So yeah, so there's a template here, and you could like take a look at this post, which kind of like explains the process that we're going to be doing for like decentralized hiring and firing. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys all know, because we talked about it in the governance call, but not everybody in this call is in the gov call. So if you have an official role proposal or official work agreement with Giveth, make sure you post your role proposal to the forum and like look for voting. You can see like Mitch's here as like an example. He's like, hey, I do stuff. This is my role proposal. Do you like it? Cool. Great. I think there was one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, we have 5 minutes left, and I wanted to say, so ETH Barcelona is coming up in July, and there is also on the forum this ETH Barcelona, should we sponsor it thing? And it's like, basically ETH Barcelona is looking for sponsorship. So we could sponsor it from the Give Garden. Some of their packages are really expensive, like 150,000 euros, but then they have like the bronze sponsorship was the minimum one. It's like 10,000 euros, but you don't really get much out of it. You get like a small logo and promo material and like one speaker dinner invite. No. So it's like there's like a little bit of like, you can see the votes are pretty split as to like what people think is best for us, but there's other things that we could sponsor. And I had a question in the forum, and I think it's really relevant for comms. Is like, hey, what is the opportunity here at ETH Barcelona? Like, Griff is going to be giving a talk almost certainly. I applied for a speaker position, and so did Marco, and so did Pavle, and Mateo's going to apply for a speaker position. So it's like an opportunity for a lot of like Giveth talks. And so I think like we'll have exposure there. We'll have a bunch of our team there, but there's also like opportunity in terms of like, hey, do we want to like set up swag, and like do we want to, I don't know, create like a side event, or like there's all kinds of different things that we could do, and like some of the doors for entry could be like via these sponsorships. So I would just love like some ideas or brainstorming. Like in the last few conferences we've been doing, I just been kind of like just Griff has ideas, and then I like try to make them happen with the swag and blah blah blah. But I think we could also, like, since we're going to have a lot of Giveth representation at this conference, we could get organized around like how to make best use of it, and like to let more people know about Giveth and what we've been working on.
Yeah, I would love, it would be so nice if you guys, from the comms perspective, look at this and vote, because you probably have the best perspective. I would love to close this vote today, actually, and tell Manu what we get, what we're going for, and then set up the vote, the more formal vote to get the funds for it. We hit the 5-day advice process, and there is some time pressure.
Just like at a first, I mean, many of you probably is like first time you're hearing about it. What do you guys think? Like, do you think it would be a good thing to sponsor? Like, what do you think we could do in the conference situation? Or like, what if you've been to ETH conferences before? Like, what have you seen other teams do that have been like really good at like getting their presence known?
I haven't been to one of the conferences before, but I know that they vary in size. So I'm sure it's part of the document. I haven't looked at it, but I don't know how many participants they're expecting at the conference and where they're planning on streaming it, because that will, if we can be on stream channels.
4,000 tickets. I'm sure they'll sell out, and there'll be also a lot of side events.
And are they having live streams of it?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, sometimes these conferences fuck it up. I'm just not going to throw that out there with the live streams. But I don't. I'm pretty sure that there'll be live streams and with our logos. Yeah, Suga?
Sorry, I remember last year at ECC there was a Giveth. There was a Giveth sponsor at ECC last year, was there? Or not? Because I remember like a big Giveth.
We in the past, and including ECC, we have done a lot of Renegade sponsorships.
Yeah.
As in, we don't really even have tickets. We sneak through the back door and, hey, this looks like an empty table. Let's put our shirts on it. You know, and we've done that for a long time, like the last 5 years, a lot. Had money to do this. So it is kind of nice to actually be in a place where we can sponsor events. I really like some of the comments too about like how are they going to use the money. So we'll just
I guess I was asking because I was trying to gauge my experience. I mean, I was TEC last year, but I remember the Giveth. Well, I remember carrying around like the big Giveth, whatever you call it, windsock thing, the big banner thing, and I didn't know if that was like part of some official sponsorship or what. But I also did the table, like I'm going to take this table and pass out T-shirts. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it would be cool to do something, obviously.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that is the top of the hour. So I posted the link to the forum in our agenda from today. Please feel free to take a look and leave any comments in there. It'd be really great. And thanks everybody for joining the comms call. I'll make a bunch of issues and we can get these issues done. This was great. You're great. You're all great.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.